Hey guys, this is Feeding Frenzy 91, and I'm bringing you some Sony news, which is kind of strange because I've been doing Microsoft almost solely and Nintendo for a while because Sony's been kind of quiet, hiding in the background, waiting for the perfect time to strike or to drop a bomb, one or the other. Now, this news is that Sony has just released a FAQ. I think it was yesterday, and they released one, and they had a bunch of questions answered that they haven't answered in the past, and it actually changed a lot what people thought about the system. It changed what people expected the system to have, and I don't know whether it's going to cause them to either lose pre-orders or gain pre-orders. Either or. I think that some of this will actually affect some YouTubers, especially people who were buying the PS4 for YouTube. They may, I don't know whether this will make them reconsider or whether they'll still buy it, but the thing is that they have a certain amount of things that you cannot do with your PS4 that people wanted to do, I think. And I have a list of 10. There were more things, but this was the list I thought that would actually matter the most to people. It's a list of 10 different things. I will have an IGN article on this in the description because that's where I got some of the list from. Some of the list I got from the FAQ, some of the list from the article. So I'm just gonna have the list appear on the screen all at once. I got the number as you can see, the letters are just forming. Thought it'd be kind of cool to have them kind of form like that on the screen while there's gunshots going on in the background. Anyway, let's just talk about the list. Alright, I don't know if you can actually see the words yet, but number one, the PSN IDs cannot be changed, which I know some people wanted. Two, videos cannot be shared on YouTube and cannot be voiced over, and cannot be voiced over. They will not play CDs. Remote play will not work over 3G. You will need a Wi-Fi, and they encourage you to have the same Wi-Fi that the PS4 is hooked up to. DualShock 3 controls will not work. PS3 Bluetooth headsets will not work. The light bar on the DualShock cannot be turned off. You cannot use an external hard drive on launch. There are mandatory game installs, and share controls via the internet to assist a friend will not be available on launch. Now, basically, we have the list there, and I think that I'm going to talk about this list, and I'm going to first just scratch off the ones that I do not care about. Number one would be that I don't care about CDs, okay? Honestly, I haven't listened to a CD in a while. My mom actually still listens to CDs. She had me buy her a CD player, and I was like, Mom, seriously, you want a CD player? Just get an MP3. And then she's like, no, she wants CDs. Anyway, and it will not support MP3 playback either, though. I don't care about that either. Don't use that. Usually I'll have my computer playing a song if I want to play a song while I'm playing games. Um, the remote play, once again, I don't care too much about, but I don't own a Vita. DualShock 3, that's something that may affect me if I had a PS3. I don't own a PS3. If I was to get a PS4, I wouldn't have any DualShock 3 controllers anyway. But the thing is, my cousin, he has 4 of them, and I'm sure he'd lend me some. So it would have been good to use them, but that's not something that affects me either because for like the Wii was like one of the few consoles where I think the PS2 also could. You could use the PS1's DualShock controller on the PS2, but you couldn't use PS2 controllers on the PS3 and stuff. So I'm just saying that's not something that normally happens anyway. I know the Wii could use the GameCube controllers, but once again, that's not something that normally happens. All right, the Bluetooth headsets, don't care about that. I tend to just use headsets that come with the game. The light bar cannot be turned off. I guess if it's a power thing, hope that doesn't drain the battery. Now, there are 3 things that I really care about in this. There's only 2 things really, because you cannot use external hard drives at launch, and mandatory game installs go hand in hand. See, the the PS4 comes only with 500 gigabyte hard drive. The reason I say only, because initially I thought that was a big hard drive space that I would never use all of, because I have a 360 and I'm not even using all of the 250 gig hard drive. But the reason I say only is because number 9 on that list was mandatory game installs. You know what mandatory game installs means? That you gotta put that game on your hard drive. Okay, so I'm like, alright, so wait a minute. Killzone Shadowfall is gonna be a 40 gigabyte game. Okay? So if I buy Killzone Shadowfall day 1, I've already used up about a tenth of my hard drive almost a tenth, not a tenth. It's like a twelfth, but it's around there. So I'm like, okay, so let's just hope none of the other games are like Killzone, because if they are, I can only have about 10 games on this thing. Because you can't just count games as your hard drive. You have to count downloads, also the free to play games, because I'd definitely be downloading them. They're free to play. Um, and like upgrades, installs, all that stuff. So you basically only have 10 games on your hard drive at once, which is that means after 2 or 3 years of me playing this PS4, I'm probably gonna run out of space. Now, I do like how the PS4, though, you can use another internal hard drive. They announced that it's going to be only the requirements are just simply be a 5400 RPM hard drive that is above 160 gigabytes. Basically, that's the basic requirements, right? Now there are a lot of hard drives like that. That is nice. You're probably gonna, if you want to buy, I would recommend if you're buying a new hard drive, internal hard drive for this, go with the one terabyte at least. 1 terabyte hard drive for this is about, because it says it has to just be 9.5 millimeters, so it'd be about, I want to say, $80, maybe cheaper, maybe more expensive, but I still want to say about $80 for a terabyte hard drive, internal hard drive, and then you can just use that, and then you can hold a lot more games on your system. Okay, but those two really did it for me, because when I heard that there was no external hard drives, let me explain the problem here. That still requires me going out and buying an internal hard drive. Now, you may ask yourself, but if you may ask yourself this, if it was an external hard drive, I'd still have to buy that too. The problem is this: an external hard drive can be used for more things than just my PS4. I have a terabyte external hard drive right now that I use to back up my computer. I may use it on my Wii eventually. May use it on the 360. May use it just to store files in general. So an external hard drive, like if I bought an external hard drive, a terabyte external hard drive, then I could use that for many other things. So it's much more convenient than me having to buy an internal hard drive for the PS4, putting it inside the PS4 and only using it for the PS4. Also, most people already own external hard drives, because most people who are gamers obviously need to back up their files, and they already own them. Most people do not own another internal hard drive that they just have laying around just for this very specific reason. Alright, let's get off of that.
The only other problem I really have with the online, with the PS4, which I don't actually personally have, but I feel that people in my position, like YouTubers, would have, is that you cannot upload your videos from using the share button to YouTube. You'd have to upload it to Facebook, and or stream it using Twitch or Ustream. The thing about that is that with Facebook, you, I mean, I hope that you could just take it from Facebook to Ustream. I mean to YouTube, and make it from like that. But the thing about that is that the whole point of the share button, I feel, was to bring it to YouTube. I mean, I thought that was the whole point, that people wouldn't have to buy capture cards to make their YouTube channels anymore. But seems like that wasn't the point, because you can't do it to YouTube. But that doesn't really bother me, since I have a capture card, obviously, and the guy capture card, like any serious YouTuber, even if the share button could upload to YouTube, unless you're just a trick shotter. If you're just a trick shotter YouTuber, then that's fine, because you don't need to buy a capture card for that. I mean, if you see a great shot in like a Call of Duty or Battlefield, and then you just press the share button, you got it right there. So, but if you want to make serious YouTube videos, the best thing to do is get a capture card, and they're not that expensive. An HD capture card, I got mine secondhand, and it works fine. I got it for $75 and 25 cents, and it came with an HDMI and it works fine. So I really, buying a capture card would just make more sense if you want to be a serious YouTuber than using that 15-minute share button. Especially if you want to be a Let's Play YouTuber. Yeah, that 15-minute share button is not gonna work for Let's Play, if you ask me, because you're not. I mean, pressing that share button every 15 minutes to get the most recent play doesn't make sense. Anyway, other than that, nothing else I really care about. The PS4 still looks like a pretty strong system to me, and I guess I'm just looking forward to November 15th. Alright, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. God bless.